So this is how we look for the social epidemiology of any disease, okay? Just Google any disease, diabetes statistics USA, diabetes statistics worldwide, lung cancer statistics USA, lung cancer statistics worldwide. You can focus on the US or any country. The statistics are essentially the social structural factors or social characteristics that affects the risk of that disease. Are we clear? Usually CDC has a very good website on statistics. Even websites like Mayo Clinic, they refer to CDC statistics. So it's better to go to CDC first. So this is a manifestation of social epidemiology. Which racial group is more at risk? It seems that non-Hispanics white, regardless of age, are more at risk of cardiovascular disease. The percentages is slightly higher, followed by non-Hispanic black. So this is what I need from your slide. Who is more affected? The crescent dimension is involved here. And the time dimension, this is data from 2015. You need to let me know the time of the data you got from where. There are 3 dimensions that pertains to social epidemiology: person, place, and time. The place would be America as a whole in this table. Can you see that? Person would be different racial ethnic groups, the different risk factors, and the different percentages for deaths. Yeah, when we break it down by sex, blacks and whites still have a higher percentages of being diagnosed with heart disease. Can you see that? And the number of deaths are also higher for these 2 racial groups. This is a manifestation of social epidemiology. And let's see if we get other statistics. Maybe WHO website has other statistics we don't know. Remember, for the social epidemiology slide in your presentation, you got to include person, place, and time. Are we clear? And this is another manifestation of social epidemiology. It affects a third of the world population under 70. If you want to focus on worldwide data, you can. If you want to focus on US data, CDC is a very good source. Questions so far? Not much on WHO. Okay. So you got to Google it and see if we can find statistics that pertains to person, place, and time. Are we clear? There's no statistics in here about heart disease. What age group is most affected? What sex is more affected? And what racial group is more affected? It seems that there's no statistic in here. Just scroll down. I don't see anything. We can just hit the back button. Look for another source. Are we clear? So it takes some time looking for social epidemiology of any disease of your choice. Let's see if we find anything from Healthline. This is another social epidemiology. It has the time 2018. Person 30 million is affected. What about place? I think this is America, United States, okay? So you can use this as well. You don't have to talk about racial groups if you don't want to, or age groups. Person is involved, Americans. 2018 data. Place, Americans, okay? Can you see that? It seems that white male has a higher number of deaths. Another manifestation of social epidemiology. Can you see that? The deaths for blacks are lower. The death rates per 100,000 people, these are the rates. The death rates for blacks are lower. You can talk about this if you want to. If you pick heart disease, it's up to you. The deaths for females are lower, regardless of race. Just tell me a good story in your presentation, are we clear? So, these are the social characteristics of social structural factors involved. Race and sex, can you see that? And the time is involved too. We know it's 2017 data. So, any numbers you pick has to have the 3 dimensions. Are we clear? So this is a good website to refer to. I know it's still far away. And your presentation is somewhat cumulative. Some stuff you learned previously, you need to include that in your presentation. This is a very good link. I'm going to publish this when it's closer. CDC again. CDC has very good data for social epidemiology. I suggest you go to CDC first if you want to save time. Who knows? Finals is coming. You have other finals, you have other papers due. So if you want to take a shortcut, I suggest you go to CDC website first, okay? And these are all the health illnesses, disease. You just scroll down. Heart disease, cholesterol, hypertension, heart attack, COPD, asthma, you name it. And they classify them. It's very organized, can you see that? All kinds of cancer, arthritis, mental health. I suggest you don't use mental health from this website because it's not clinical depression. Unless you can give me a very good presentation using mental health symptoms, not clinical depression. I suggest you don't use this category if you cannot tell me a good story. Don't use health status. This is not an illness. A combination of illnesses are reflected in health statuses, or the absence of illnesses and disease are reflected in a person's health status. Poor health, fair health, good health, excellent health. Don't use health status when you do your final presentation, okay? Think twice before you use mental health. And functional limitations, because I'm a sociologist, I don't know if any biomarkers, enzymes or proteins are involved in physical or functional limitations. Maybe you know something I don't. So you can do research on your own and I will learn something from you. Because you need to have a slide talking about biomarkers, proteins and enzymes. So my point is, pick your disease and illness carefully, right? So that you can cover all the slides are required. That's common sense. And health behaviors is not relevant for your project. This is not relevant. The cost is the overall cost, not cost for that disease to society. This is not relevant, doctor visit. So, if we are curious about asthma, it seems that there's no trend data for most diseases. Just single year is okay. And you can go to the latest year. Oh, it's only 2019. That's good enough. And you can look the trends by sex, by age, by race, by marital status, by disability status. So this website provides a very, very, very good portrayal of social epidemiology. It's very organized. Can you see that? Let's check it out by sex, by age, sorry. You see, the percentages of people diagnosed with asthma vary across age groups. This is a manifestation of social epidemiology. Can you see that, ladies and gentlemen, students? It's low in the early 20s, a bit higher as we approach middle age. It decreased again in old age. It's even lower. It could be due to mortality among elderly people. Could be one factor. And if we also can look at the data by sex. The percentage of asthma diagnosis is higher for female based on the latest data we got. Can you see that? You don't have to mention all the social characteristics. Just pick a few to fill out your slides, okay? You won't have enough space to talk about all these social or demographic characteristics. So, social structural factors is also akin to demographic characteristics. They are all the same. Can you see that? People, they just define that differently. I see them all the same. Okay. Let's check urbanicity, degree of urbanicity. The risk of asthma is higher in large cities, metro areas. Sorry, yeah, it's higher in large metro area. It's somewhat lower in fringe metro areas. It's also quite high in medium and small metro areas. It's also quite high in non-metropolitan. Maybe the lack of healthcare access can be a factor. People cannot get help, seek healthcare when they have asthma attack, or they don't have transportation to get to hospital. Because of that, percentages of asthma is quite high in non-metro or fringe, or in middle and small metro area. Or maybe it's more polluted in large metro areas. The dust particle can contribute to asthma, right? So just pick a few to talk about. You have one slide, just one slide. And region. The percentages of asthma diagnosis is somewhat higher in the west and northeast. Do you buy that? So region, degree of urbanicity are the two additional examples of social structural factors. Can you see that? Okay. Do you know what to do for this presentation? We are just covering number 2 today. Any data you pick, we've been through this many times, it has to have a time dimension, people dimension, where they live, and place dimension. These are all intersected. People living in different places. You've got to have the 3 things. If not, I'm going to take points off, okay? This is a good source. I link that to you in this presentation. You will see when it's closer. It's not published yet. And yeah, we will talk about each slide you need for your presentation from now on, so that you can be prepared and you will give me an excellent presentation in December. The disease definition, you can find that out on your own, okay? So we may do number 3 to number 6 from now until the end of the semester. Any questions so far? Any questions so far?